Santa, how was your year?
Oh, so as usual, sleep very long, and then of course overlooked the production and distribution of the presents for the children, just as every year.
And letters, right?
Everyone can send WhatsApp, TikTok, every channel can be used. We will receive.
Welcome to Yana TV. Today we have a really unusual guest in the spirit of Christmas. We have Santa in the studio.
Oh.
I just feel right now the little girl inside of me doing like a happy dance, you know? Finally I have a real Santa in real life sitting in front of me here. I'm just wondering, how did you get here these days? Is it still deers or carriages, or how Santa travels?
Yes, but I have only Rudolph in front. Before Christmas, I don't use all the reindeers, so they're going to be exhausted at Christmas. So I only have Rudolph, poor thing, but he has to go with me. I still come with my sleigh, smaller version.
Santa, how was your year? What did you do for the entire year?
Oh, so as usual, sleep very long. And then of course overlooked the production and distribution of the presents for the children, just as every year.
And letters, right? There are so many children who are writing letters to you. So I'm just wondering, is it still, pen and paper, or emails or TikTok? What is the best way right now to reach Santa?
Well, we have really opened up all channels, since so many countries want to be environmentally friendly. We also do that, and everyone can send WhatsApp, everything, TikTok, every channel can be used. We will receive.
Santa, so you see it. I'm just so happy. Like I'm trying to find the word to express how I feel right now inside. And what we are going to find out in a moment, who is the man behind, inside, as the Santa who is sitting in the studio today. So let's see. And here is the man who is the Santa himself, Peer Metze.
Correct.
Where are you from, Peer?
I'm from Germany originally, near Berlin.
Near Berlin. I love the city. I spent quite a lot of time there, so I love the city of Berlin. How on earth did you decide to become Santa?
Let's start from the beginning. When I was a child, my father every year was the Santa Claus, and we as the children were waiting for our father to deliver the Christmas presents. And that was a tradition every year. And then we changed into any fairy tale costume, and then we did something for our parents. So from there, that was probably the basic. Later, when I had my daughter and some friends with also same age of kids, they asked me to do it, and then I said, yeah, well, why not? Yeah. So I went around a little bit with families, and then many years no more. But then I came to Singapore, and then I started a little bit acting. And once you are in acting somewhere, then someone comes to you and says, why don't you do the Santa Claus? And I say, oh yeah, why not? And then suddenly became a Santa Claus. And that was in 2007.
Is that when you came to Singapore, or did you come here earlier?
I came a bit earlier. I came in 2005.
Okay, so you came to Singapore. I'm just curious, what was your first impression when you arrived here?
I was here before, actually, just on a short trip, some layover between flights, and I visited Orchard Road, and I was looking for something specific, to be honest. And then I got a first glimpse of Singapore, and I thought, like, whoa, that's a busy town, so much different, because I came from the Maldives and then continued to Indonesia, which is of course a totally different level. And I thought, like, wow, I didn't expect that to be so modern. And maybe I was like in my mind still like Asia, but it's totally not true. Totally not true. Same happened, by the way, when I went to China. I was like, didn't expect that. But I think it's something which you grow up and you never see somewhere, and then you still believe there's it's a fishing village or something, but it's not. It's absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Very far from that.
Yeah, very far from that. It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so you came here and you did some boring job before became Santa, and then you became Santa. It has been now many, many years. So I'm just curious to ask you a few questions about this journey and the stories that happened. You know, I find it fascinating. You go to people's homes and, you know, it's a very special time when everyone sort of expects miracles and they want their dreams to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
So over those years, is there like an interesting story that you could share, perhaps happened that you didn't expect or that really surprised you as the Santa?
Yeah, there's the most stories is like, but it's always when children are really into it, when children are really believe in Santa, or just maybe they don't believe in Santa, but the moment they see Santa, it's like a total change. That is always the best event. Even the parents, they come maybe with a bad mood, maybe just had a problem or something, and then they see Santa, suddenly everything is forgotten. And then smile, and the kids are just crazy. And that is really, really, when you see them coming, and that's not like, oh, wow, bad mood. And then suddenly Santa, and the children say, Santa, and then smile. That is the best. Really...
We just had this experience, I mean, here in the studio, right? We just had like a few moments when we all saw you as a Santa. The whole team was like, oh, it's Christmas! So you can feel this. So it's amazing how much in our minds we associate Santa with something which is very festive, very positive, almost like a miraculous, right? There is this grandpa pretty much who is there to fulfill your wishes. And I think it's a wonderful, wonderful tradition.
It is, and it's something, and you say tradition, and that is something what I sometimes feel gets lost in new times and stress and hectic, where the people forget about it. And that Santa Claus is not only the Coca-Cola guy, there who delivers presents. There's some more behind it. Christmas is basically like Chinese New Year, actually. Yeah. Families are supposed to come together once a year and celebrate and feast and so on. Yeah, that is the idea. And it's sometimes, I believe, in the Western world, it gets lost sometimes, and it's a bit sad. Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's wonderful and also sad at the same time that we have to wait for Christmas to remember that there is magic in this life.
Yeah.
You also, at some point, decided that you want to set up like first of all, academy, and then it became like an alliance, right? So we have a Santa Claus Alliance Singapore.
Yeah.
So, and there are other people who also playing this role. How did that come about?
Well, yes, it is because the bookings one day was too much to do alone. And then I asked my friends, and since I was a little bit in acting as well in Singapore, you get to know Caucasian friends, let's say. People prefer a Caucasian Santa Claus.
It's like a traditional look.
Yeah. So I asked my friends and if they would like to do that. And then it became more and more and more. And then I thought like giving it a Santa Claus Academy, because, Singapore is an educational super hub. Yeah. So Academy always sounds great. But then people were confused, and they thought I have an academy and teaching to become a Santa. And one good friend just said last time, well, why not you call it Alliance? Maybe that fits better, because it's not really an academy. And I thought, that is actually a better word. So a loose connection of friends, which has the same idea and the same purpose.
What was your personal favorite Christmas as a Santa?
There was once a family that was actually the son was very sick and wanted to see the Santa, and I agreed to it. Yeah, and it didn't fit time-wise, and the family wanted to have me, and it didn't fit. And then I came there. Finally, I came there. And the son was actually had passed away, but he was still in the house. Mm-hmm. So I delivered my presents at that moment, not knowing that he has passed away already. And then I realized, and that was wow. Yeah, and delivered my presents. I wished them all the best, and the family appreciated it very much. And then the son got his last wish. That was a very memorable, let's say. And if you say it was the best, yeah, it was a memorable one, definitely. The best ones are always the ones where the kids run towards you, hug you just out of nothing, and go crazy. And then I give them sweets, and they go even more crazy. And this is just so much love around.
Unconditional.
Yeah,
right?
really.
That's
the best word.
Yeah.
Unconditional love, just like that. Yeah, that is just fantastic.
I understand Santa often goes to families, right? Orchard Road, probably very popular since we're in Singapore. Would be companies. I assume companies might also invite Santa for the Christmas parties. Yep. So what about places like, have you gone to, since you just shared the story, have you gone to like a hospitals or hospices as a Santa?
Hospitals, not yet, to be honest, but I've been to institutions with mentally disabled people. So that is something maybe people don't know, that Santa is not only in a shopping center, Santa is actually everywhere. Yeah, so everywhere, HDB events, what else? Company events, as you mentioned before, then airport. Yeah, airport. So yeah, these places, basically everywhere where public places, Santa can be around.
It's just as you said, when people think about Santa, like I always feel that it's associated with those very joyful occasions, that it's always, fun, and it's always like, I don't know, a happy family that wants Santa to come again, or what you said, like those happy places. And like you just shared with us a story with the boy, right? And then now, like you're saying, you have been going to, let's say, institutions and just places where perhaps people are not always so happy. So I'm just wondering, from your perspective, as someone who comes there as a Santa, so how do you process all of those things mentally and emotionally?
Generally, people think it's an easy job to do. You just be joyful, but they don't realize that when they meet Santa, they go, maybe it takes 3 minutes, but Santa does the job for 4 hours. So you have to stay 4 hours in character, so to say, and being joyful for these 4 hours. And in these 4 hours, different people, of course, approach you. Most of them very nice, some not so very nice. And in the end, I'm also happy that Santa is not an event, or Christmas is not an event that goes all year. Yeah, so it's just 1 month, and then that's good. Yeah. So. And usually I take a holiday after that.
But I understand, again, because emotionally, mentally, and physically, it asks you a lot to always be there for people. And I have seen you as a Santa, and we have seen you in the studio just earlier today. You have to level up this energy, but then you have to constantly be that for people. Yeah. So it's actually quite admirable. So thank you for doing this job. Yeah, I think it's an amazing job, bringing happiness and joy to people. Christmas from your childhood, since you shared the story that your father was playing Santa, and you how many siblings do you have?
4.
4. So you are 4 together, or you plus 4?
Me plus 4.
So 5 total, right? It's quite a big family. So you were saying you guys were playing and doing all those costumes during Christmas. So I'm just curious, what was your memorable event for you as a child when it comes to Christmas?
I think it's for every child the same. We did that program where we played some fairy tale figure or role, and we all played a music instrument, by the way. So we played also music instruments. We had a little cultural program actually that Christmas evening. But in the end, everyone was happy when it was over because we wanted to know what's under that tree. or what is in the sack of Santa. Of course, I think that is all for everyone the same. So that is the most thing you wait for as a child. Yeah.
It's interesting. I think that many adults are still feel the same. We never grow up really out of these expectations that the miracle in the present, this is what people want.
Yeah, at my times there was not so plenty things around like today. The presents were much less. Sometimes when I visit families the family said the presents are in front of the door. Sometimes my sack is too small. It's just so much. Yeah. At my time, when I was a child, it was much less than that. Yeah.
You have played Santa in both Asia and in Europe, right? Because you were also doing it for friends and family pretty much before you started doing it professionally in Singapore. So I know that people who have never been to Asia sometimes laugh that we celebrate Christmas. They're like, Christmas in Asia, seriously? Like, yep, just no snow. I mean, sometimes artificial snow, but otherwise it's very similar way of doing it.
It's actually more than that in Europe. Christmas is a huge dimension here. I didn't expect that. It's huge. Look at Orchard Road. It's like, wow. This is a whole Christmas wonderland. It's wow, amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Which was actually, you kind of leading, to my question here, which I wanted to ask. So because you have played this role in both Asia and Europe, so do you see the differences? And if yes, so what will be the differences how people approach Christmas?
Same way, basically, that the families meet together or friends and have good food, and then at the highlights that Santa comes. That is basically the same. The only difference is in Europe, it's at winter. When you have that hot suit, it's much better than you have that hot suit over here.
On the Orchard Road when it is plus 30 degrees Celsius.
Other than that, the tradition is basically the same. Good, the food is different, of course, yeah. But it's the same. Families meet and it's well done. Come together, people come together, very nice. Same.
Are you planning on staying in Singapore longer time?
Definitely as Santa.
Definitely a Santa,
yes.
Right? So I know that this episode is like right now released around Christmas and probably already fully booked for this year. So, but I'm sure next year. So if you are curious, and really want to have a real Santa, then as always, we have all the links that you can check in the description of the video. I know you came to my home as a Santa 5 or 6 years ago, I think.
A few times even.
Yes, exactly. And that was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. It was very nice indeed. I will remember that very, yes.
And we have Santa again as the Santa. The Christmas gonna be with us in a few days. And yes. I'm just wondering, for people like me, and there are others who still have dreams and want their dreams to come true, do we have like a special advice from Santa how to make our dreams come true?
Yes, as usual, behave, come towards the Santa, give me a hug, that brings you luck, and if you're too shy for that, shake my hand, that will do.
We can also do namaste in a very modern society. Is Santa having a wish of his own for Christmas?
Yes, I have my wish since a very long time that people don't forget Santa Claus. With all the influence of the social media, the new system and lots of stress, please don't forget, there is an old tradition around that is here for you.
And the final, as we are wrapping up our wonderful time here together. So when you come next year for Christmas, how would you like to be welcomed?
How would I like to be welcomed? Yes, well, I'm used to that people really have the light in their eyes and they see Santa Claus, and they know their wishes will come through.
With that, exactly. What is very important that you are very, very clear on your wish and you truly, truly believe in that with your whole heart. And Santa and myself wishing you an amazing Christmas wherever you are in the world right now with your loved and your family and your friends. And may there be more kindness and inclusion and acceptance in our world. And of course, remember, subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. If you have a wish that you really want to come true, let us know. Santa gonna read it with his dears, and who knows, it's modern age. You can do every single line. Maybe that will be one step gonna help you to make your wish come true. And we are so, so grateful to Muse Studio for hosting Yana TV. Thank you for being here. See you next time.
Ho, ho, ho.
why did you come to Singapore?
It was a job in the first place. I think that's the most...
Santa job?
No, it wasn't. No, it was a ordinary job.
Ordinary job, not such an exciting job.
Yeah.